Adam Lavelle, Pro Wrestling Noah. That's all I'm about because it's wrestling done right. And you can find out about me and who I am at wrestlingdoneright.com. Follow me on all my socials. That's where they're linked at. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the continuation of the N1 Victory Tournament. Happened on August 12, 2024. And this one was in Kawasaki, Kanagawa, Japan. The Kolitz Kawasaki Arena. Decent attendance for Noah, over 1,500 people. But unfortunately, this show kicked off with another forfeit. Another forfeit. I'm not talking about Kotogi. It has been announced that El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. is out of this tournament by injury. 3 major injuries in this tournament. How sickening is this? Unfortunately, the brutal style of Noah leads to this. But that's why we love Noah. We don't want to see people injured, but we love the style that sadly can sometimes lead to that. Dr. Wagner has to forfeit to Titus Alexander, who jumps to 6 points by getting those 2 points just by default. The first match here on this night was Titus Alexander and Yu Owada taking on Daga and Kai Fujimura. I find this match okay. I mean, we got Kai Fujimura and Yu Owada, who are still pretty much young boys, and they're still learning their craft, and they're trying to get better, haven't even developed any type of style or gimmick or anything. That's okay, but you know that, one of them's going to get beat here, right? It isn't going to be Titus Alexander, and it isn't going to be Daga, but Titus Alexander and Yu Owada get the win when Owada pins Fujimura. Daga and Titus Alexander had some good interaction here. I don't think those 2 guys you'd pit together too often. I don't know. I mean, basically because you don't want Titus Alexander to show Daga up. And I like Daga. Don't take that wrong. But this Alexander kid is incredible, beating guys that you can't believe he's defeated. So I don't know. I wouldn't want him to face Daga if I was a big Daga fan. But this match was all right for what it was. Nice opening match. Nothing special, nothing amazing, but a nice way to warm up the crowd, basically. And that's not insulting any of these guys. Titus, I think I misspoke. Titus Alexander got the win here. He with his big ugly suplex on Kai Fujimura. So that was my mistake. Sorry. But it was a good match because I enjoy Alexander and I'm cool with Daga, but didn't sound like it in this review of this match, I guess. But this was decent for what it was. Simple as that. Hey, the next matchup on this N1 Victory Tournament show on August 12, 2024 was another non-tournament matchup, as it was a 6-man matchup that saw Amaska. I struggle with his name. It looks like Amakusa, but it's not pronounced that way. It's like Amakasa, something like that. Sorry, guys. I know him. Cool wrestler. Great junior champion. Has crazy hair, but he's a good, solid wrestler, especially for the juniors. He teamed up with Eita and Ninja Mac. Man, this was Ninja Mac's last match in Noah till who knows. They said hopefully he'll be back on another tour, but we don't know when that'll be. I really love Ninja Mac in this company. I think he fits. I think he does an amazing job. I enjoy watching him. I'm not a super fan of Crazy High Flyers, but I do like Ninja Mac. He will be greatly missed, and I hope he does come back, and I hope it's not a long time. No one knows why he's wrapping up this tour and not announcing a comeback. Has he been signed by somebody? Is he just getting tired of living away from home? I understand that. I mean, I would love to work for Noah, but I understand that. But they were taking on Hayata, Tarasuke, and Yohei. The return of Hayata as part of that team. And I mentioned earlier I was excited about that. I'm Adam Lavelle of WrestlingDoneRight.com. Check it out for all my social links and for a little bio about moi, truly. This was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of good interaction. It was nice seeing Yohei and Hayata together again, and with Tarasuke. I just think all 3 of them, it's 3/4 of the Rattels. I was a big Rattel fan. I like that faction. I like that group. Could they add a 4th member here that could stand in for Harada? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Do they need it? Not necessarily. I think, I could see these 3 being like a modern-day Freebirds, if you will. They ain't got no Terry Gordy, so it's not a great comparison, but sort of that attitude, you know what I mean? Sort of like these 3 kick-ass guys that beat people up and have fun. I could sort of see that working out pretty well. There was an interesting team, the Amakusa, Eita, and Ninja Mac. I mean, I'm still coming to grips with Eita being a fan favorite, Eita not being, an underhanded, scummy rule breaker. And that's not an insult. Eita was great at that. So seeing him teaming with these 2 guys was something to behold. And again, it was much like the match before it. I'd say this one was a little better, because they had 6 solid, mid-top card guys going at each other. And again, watching Yohei and Hayata bring their old style back in a much more talented way with all their experience was fun. Amaska seemed to sort of be on his own here. Not that he wasn't getting along with Eita and Ninja Mac, but he really seems to be a guy that shines brighter in the singles division. He wasn't bad in this match. It's hard to explain what I mean. Watching Eita and Ninja Mac, that was an interesting team. Amaska is just sort of his own guy, but it worked here, watching him interact with Hayata, the multi-time junior champion, and Tadasuke and Yohei was a lot of fun. Amaska flies all over the place, but is still very skilled on the ground. Eita is just your brutal, kick your ass kind of guy, and Ninja Mac is the jumpy, flying, flipping, flowing, and he's really, really good at that, as good as anyone else in the business, or damn close to it, in my opinion. Amakusa, Eita, and Ninja Mac won this matchup. That kind of surprised me. Both teams are good wrestlers, but Tadasuke, Hayata, and Yohei have teamed together a lot in the past, so I thought their experience would get them to win. It did not, unfortunately, but I did enjoy this. I'm just ready to get to the N1 tournament matches. The third match of the night from Noah's N1 Victory Tournament show on August 12, 2024 was another tag team match. They're making me impatient. I want to get to these N1 matches. Not that I begrudge these other matches. Noah is great no matter what they're doing. At least I'd say about 97% of the time. Once in a while they can have a stinker here or there, but not often. And this next match was not one either. Hajime Ohara and Hitoshi Kumano, the backbreakers, back together. I don't know what's up with Kumano. I don't think he's an official part of the Noah roster. He just left. I don't know what he's doing or where he's at. They took on Haruki and Super Crazy, a different team. At first, I wasn't excited about this because this was Ohara's 20th anniversary match. I kind of liked them teaming him with Hitoshi Kumano, his former tag team partner. Like I said, they were known as the Backbreakers, but they're wrestling Haruki and Super Crazy. What a weird mismatched team. I haven't seen Haruki since I've come back to know after a several month break, a mistake that was. Super Crazy doesn't have a lot of fans, especially the guy jeans. Us American fans, we're so picky and particular, and we know better than everybody else. But Super Crazy's not bad. He's not the Super Crazy he was, but that's okay. He's modified his style, and the way he works, in my opinion. I don't want to see him with championships galore, a tag title maybe or something, but I don't want to see him with the national title or the heavyweight title, of course. He's not that good, but he's good enough to be part of this roster and work some matches, so I'm okay with it. And Haruki, I'm cool with Haruki. I don't know where the hell he's been, but this team is just odd. And they had a big celebration before the match started in Ohara. Some woman in the crowd brought him flowers. I think Mark Pickering and Stu Fulton said who she was, but I don't recall. I didn't really much care. I do like Ohara, and it's cool that he's having a 20th anniversary celebration. I don't begrudge that, but I just didn't care about this woman coming in and giving him flowers. And I was really struggling to care about this match till it got close to the end. I think this should have been Ohara versus Haruki. That's what I think it should have been. Kumano, nothing against him. It was nice. Like I said, the throwback to the Backbreakers, and they, of course, they won. And after the match, they gave the big Backbreaker pose together. So that was reminiscent of a decent, fun time in Ohara's career. But the team was good, and I enjoyed them. I do. I really did enjoy that team, but they didn't do much, and they didn't last super long. So it was cool to see Ohara win this, and Kumano. They took out Haruki and Super Crazy. That's cool. But I don't know. It wasn't a bad match. It was a fine match. But I do really like Hajime Ohara. He's one of my favorites. He really is. I've liked this guy since I first saw him around 2016, 2017. He's one of the best juniors ever. I liked when he turned and joined Congo. I've just really enjoyed him. And I think I just would have rather seen him versus Haruki, the two former Congo members tearing the house down as best that they could one last time, if you will. Now, not like Ohara's retiring or anything, I don't think, but this was just a celebration of his career. It was in his town. A big part of the crowd was here to see Ohara. So why not give him a singles match and have it be really good and solid instead of a tag match that was just fine? But that's what it was. Just fine. Finally, we are back to the N1 Victory Tournament, meaning this show has been an N1 Victory Tournament show from August 12, 2024, Pro Wrestling Noah, but it's been nothing but tag teams, 6-man tag teams, regular tag teams, and I am more than ready to get into these N1 tournament matches. And we kick those off greatly with Kaito Kiyomiya taking on Dragon Bane. I'm Adam Lavelle of WrestlingDoneRight.com. Go there for all the information you need about me and all my social media links. Follow me at all of them. I only talk wrestling. Some of the sites I will mention, another wrestling company here or there, or something that's going on in the news. But I'm mostly all about Pro Wrestling Noah, wrestling done right. So yeah, Kiyomiya versus Bane was a good match and a great way to finally kick off these N1 tournament matches on this show, August 12, 2024. I do think the match was a little weird. That doesn't mean bad. The match was a good match. But something happened before the bell rang. They both just stood in their opposing corners. I don't know if the apron was untied. Something was going on outside the ring. And Bane and Kiyomiya stood around. I was ready to fast forward. I mean, this went 2-3 minutes. The crowd was cheering and wanting the match to start, but something was going on outside the ring. I don't think Stu or Mark brought that up on commentary. If they did, I missed it. It wasn't the end of the world. It didn't make me angry or anything, but I'm just sitting there scratching my head wondering what's happening and why this match isn't starting. It does finally start, and it remained weird. Again, not bad. Please don't mistake me saying it was weird or odd for saying it was a bad match. It certainly wasn't. I enjoyed the match. But Kaito Kiyomiya, it felt like he was a little off or something. And I couldn't understand if they were presenting the match that way or if he was legitimately a little bit off. Dragon Bane, I felt like, controlled most of this. Dragon Bane looked like he should have won this. So, of course, me saying that tells you who won. Kaito Kiyomiya wins it after hitting numerous of his finishing moves, that Shining Wizard. He hit one off the ropes, he hit a running one, a jumping one, a leaping one, a twisting one, a turning one. He's got all these Shining Wizards, and he wins it after delivering several of them. But along the way, he ate a poison rana, he ate a top rope suplex, a superplex, he ate a bunch of moves from Dragon Bane that looked like should have put him away. And of course, we're talking Kaito Kiyomiya, the ace of this company, the multi-time GHC heavyweight champion. And you all know, if you know me well, that I'm not a big, huge fan of Kiyomiya. I like him, I respect him, I think he's a great wrestler. But the blonde-haired baby face that comes out smiling and kissing babies in Pro Wrestling Noah, the home of some of the most badass guys on the planet, I don't know. It seems like he's the total opposite of so much of the roster. And so he doesn't really do much for me. I have much respect for him, but I'm just not into him. I don't dislike him. There's no one in Noah I hate. No one in Noah I don't want to see. That's one of the several reasons I think Noah is the best wrestling in the world. They don't have any wrestler that makes me groan and roll my eyes and wonder why are we having to see this guy. And it's certainly not Kaito Kiyomiya, but he's just not my favorite. And he wins this over Dragon Bane. Kaito Kiyomiya only had 3 points at this point of the show, at this point of the tournament. Dragon Bane had 6. So the win here bumps Kiyomiya all the way up to 5 and keeps Bane at 6. So Kiyomiya is starting the charge that he needs to get to the end of this tournament. We'll have to see what happens. But I won't be a big fan of that either. I'll watch it with delight if Kiyomiya gets to the final. And at the point of this recording, I know who's in the final. I don't know if I should say. It's not a spoiler if you know too. But I'm not a big fan of the champion getting to the finals of a tournament for a shot at the championship. I know if the champion wins, they can name their challenger. I'm just not a big fan of that. But I'm a big fan of Noah, and I like and respect Kiyomiya. He's just not my favorite wrestler on this in this company. I would have liked to see Dragon Bane. I think he's on a super roll. I think he gets better every time I see him, and it would be different, right? But it didn't happen. Kiyomiya storms back and wins it, like I said, with numerous Shining Wizards. But the match was a little odd because I just felt like Kiyomiya was off and had to sort of win it in the last couple of minutes, but maybe that's the presentation they were going for. I'm just not sure. Here we go, baby. This is Wrestling Done Right. This is Pro Wrestling Noah. This is the N1 Victory Tournament, night number 5 from August 12, 2024. And this was Tavian Heights taking on Keno. Tavian Heights stepping out of WWE NXT, a show I don't watch and will not watch. Look, folks, I could go on about why, but it's just silly. It's terrible acting. I hate it. There's people who go on and on about HBK being a great booker. I guess maybe for sports entertainment, maybe he is. But for wrestling, I'm not interested. But Tavian Heights and Noah is a machine. He is a monster. He is a hell of a worker. Even though he is young and fairly new to the business, he has taken his Greco-Roman skills and brought them to Noah and made the world notice, at least anybody in the world who's part of the IIWC, the Intelligent Internet Wrestling Community, which is what we are here. Fans of Pro Wrestling Noah, Intelligent Internet Wrestling Community. Keno, what do I have to say about Keno other than he's one of the best in the world, man? Multi-time GHC Heavyweight Champion, GHC National Champion, GHC Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. He has done it all. He is a master of professional wrestling and one of my absolute favorite wrestlers in this world. He has an incredible look. He has an incredible style. He has an incredible intensity. His facial expressions are some of the best in the business, and he is a leader among men of pro wrestling. No, he is a gladiator of the arc, if you will. Like Stu and Mark on commentary called him something like that, but I don't think that was exactly what they said. But it was really cool sounding, and I liked it, so I'm sort of stealing it. These two went at each other. Keno was pretty confident, hit him with a penalty kick one time. I think he thought it was over, was going to go for the professional foot stomp, but got caught in Tavian Heights' ridiculous jumping, leaping belly to belly. Look, I remember when Magnum TA finished guys with belly to belly, and even back then in the 80s, some people were like, really? He's going to give someone the belly to belly, and that's his finisher. And finishers were much, much more subdued back in the 80s, okay? But people still were somewhat sort of eye-rollingly annoyed with that. But you have not seen a belly to belly until you have seen this. Jumping isn't enough to describe it. It is a leaping. This guy gets all kinds of air when he catches you in his belly to belly. And when he caught the master, Keno, in this move, it was over. 1, 2, 3. Tavian Heights upsets Keno. Possibly upset of the year. Definitely upset of this tournament. Keno was not happy, but begrudgingly shook the NXT star's hand. This is the biggest win in Tavian Heights' career. And it's going to suck to see this kid go back to WWE. Look, I understand why people want to be there for the money and the fame and the doll babies and everything they make. I shouldn't call them that because I actually have a collection sitting behind me on my shelf, the action figures. But I get annoyed. I would love to see Tavian Heights be a big star in Noah because he would be. These people are really taking to him. He's really becoming a big deal. Keno really helped put him over the edge here in this match. This is a must-see matchup. Tavian Heights was being led by Keno this whole match, and you could see that. You could see that in the match, not because he's bad. You just knew. The veteran was leading this, and the veteran led this kid, Tavian Heights, to the biggest win of his career. And it is a must-see match for that moment. Only 12 minutes long, but my God, so good. This is what I love about pro wrestling. This looked like combat. This looked like a fight. This looked like a contest, like a sporting event, and I just adore it. And I don't know what else to say about it other than you have to check out the match that has made Tavian Heights for sure. Do you like a match where two big, badass, powerful guys just beat each other practically to death? Do you like watching two powerhouses slug it out? Do you like watching men among men tear each other to shreds in an attempt to advance in a professional wrestling tournament like Noah's N1 Victory Tournament on August 12, 2024? If you like that, if you love that, if you're like me and you sit there and dream of matches like that, then you want to see Josh Briggs take on Masa Kitamiya in the next matchup that was from this evening's N1 tournament. Josh Briggs, 6'6", 300 and some pounds versus a much shorter Masa Kitamiya, but extremely powerful, able to take punishment like no other wrestler I've ever seen and keep on going. I mean, people talk about Ishii, and I'm not here to put him down, but Masa Kitamiya is better. Masa Kitamiya should be better than he is. Why Noah doesn't use him in a bigger way than they do? And I'm not saying he's not a jobber, he's not an undercard guy, but there's no reason he couldn't be in the main event scene, and he's not. He's sort of mid-card guy. Hasn't never won a singles title in Noah. How insane is that? Now, Josh Briggs, NXT, Josh Briggs, he's going to be in every match because of his brute strength and his ridiculous height. He towers over everybody in Noah. This is Japan, where, the average Japanese man isn't really tall. That's just a well-known fact. There are some exceptions. And, Masaki Kitamiya is probably, what, 5'8" to 5'10". So he's a foot shorter than Josh Briggs, but you wouldn't know it by the way he performed. He threw Josh Briggs around. Briggs threw Masaki Kitamiya around. Here's what this is about. This is about like trying to chop down two giant trees. Okay? But each of these guys were the one holding the axe, if that makes sense. They were just, probably doesn't, but they were just beating each other senseless. And it would come down to who would be the first man to fall, who would chop their tree down first. And you never knew. It looked like Masaki Kitamiya had it in hand, and then it would look like Josh Briggs had it in hand. Masaki Kitamiya delivered a ridiculous sit-down pile driver to Josh Briggs that I felt should have ended this match, but it did not. Josh Briggs got up and kept going. Josh Briggs delivered like a superplex and some other huge moves to Masaki Kitamiya, and Masaki Kitamiya kept on going. Masaki Kitamiya can just pop up and do that thing where he shakes his head and blows air through his lips and looks, sort of like Masaki Kitamiya-ing up. Hulking up, right? And his opponents look like they're scared. His opponents look like, my God, what do I got to do to beat this guy? And that happened here, and Josh Briggs was clearly frustrated. Josh Briggs is one of the biggest jaw jackers I've ever seen, not necessarily in his promos, but while he's wrestling, he is mouthing off to his opponent, you suck, you're using the F-bomb, you aren't any good, just get out of my face, why don't you bring it? Getting in the ref saying, I'll get him in the ring, shut the F up. I mean, I don't know if he does that in NXT or not. I'm sure he doesn't use the F-bomb. But it kind of works for him. He's this big guy that's basically giving the message, I'll do anything I want. Masaki Kitamiya is the kind of guy that's like, give me everything you have to give me, and I will keep going and beat you in the end. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Josh Briggs gets the choke bomb on Masaki Kitamiya. A big choke slam. It drops into a power bomb, and he beats Masaki Kitamiya. I wasn't real thrilled with that. I like Josh Briggs. He's up to 6 points. Kitamiya's at 4. I like him, but he's going back to WWE, so I can't like him too much like Tavian Heights. I really, really like these guys in Noah, but I know they aren't staying. That's why I wish Masaki Kitamiya would have gotten this victory. Masaki Kitamiya needed it more, in my opinion, for his career, for just being the devoted soldier he is in Noah. But it didn't happen, but it's still a great Power Man match that I absolutely loved. It's Adam Lavelle, the Wrestling Snob, continuing my coverage and discussion of Noah's N1 Victory Tournament. We're on day 5 from August 12, 2024, and we're up to the GHC Heavyweight Tag Team title match. What do I say about this as the Wrestling Snob? Okay, bear with me. This is tough. Naomichi Marufuji and Takashi Sugiura are a great team. Both of them long-time veterans, but very tough, but very good still in the ring and enjoyable to watch. Shuhei Taniguchi has been a low to mid-card guy that's been trying to reach the top for years and has never really done so. He has had a tag title run, maybe more than one, I'm not sure. I think he actually had one with Sugiura before. He's not bad. He's just never really clicked and gotten over in a big way. I was excited to see Shuji Ishikawa in Noah, but holy cow. It doesn't feel like it's been that long since I watched a guy as part of the Violent Giants, but maybe it's been longer than I thought. He has slowed down tremendously. He's not bad per se, but even his forearm shots and his strikes are terrible. At least here they were. They looked like they had next to no impact. He seemed like he was gassed a little early in this match. He's still put over as like a guy who's practically unbeatable. Like I believe they said since the Champion Carnival, and that's a tournament they have over in All Japan, he's only lost one match. So that means all summer long he's basically lost one match. So he's still being put over as a powerhouse out there in the world of wrestling. Clearly, he was put over as one here. He manhandled Marufuji numerous times and manhandled Sugiura. No-sold a bunch of stuff. Now look, you're talking to a guy who likes Ishikawa. The Violent Giants, him and Sawama, were one of the best tag teams of the modern era, in my opinion. They were awesome to watch. I loved it. When Ishikawa was the Triple Crown champion in All Japan, I loved his reign. But here, I did not love his stuff here. And I don't know if he was just not giving his all. Someone will have to inform me here. Is Ishikawa just really gotten this much slower and this much weaker looking? He's still a big man. He's still a hulk of a man. So no selling some stuff makes some sense. But I didn't know. I thought Taniguchi looked better. And Taniguchi's, average at best. So this match lasted just shy of 20 minutes. I thought it was too long. Uh, I didn't hate the match. I didn't love the match. Very slow paced, very slow paced. And I'm okay with slow paced because to me, sometimes a fight can be slow paced. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know. This match didn't do much for me. I don't really think I have much more to say about it other than Marufuji and Segura retain when Segura makes Taguchi tap out to an ankle lock. Put this match out of its misery. Again, not the worst match, but not the best match. And I don't want to sit here and put something down on Noah because it was decent. It was okay for what it was, but definitely the worst match on this card. And with Iowa and Morris taking on each other to go, and Inamura taking on Soya, there's no doubt about that this match for the GHC Tag Team Championship will be the worst match on this card. Now, afterwards, we had a challenge for the tag team titles that was laid out by Muhammad Yone and his former partner, Akitoshi Saito. So I don't know what to make of that. Saito is retiring in November. Yone's great. I mean, his hair is just wild. They used to have that disco team, whatever they were called. I can't even remember, which was sort of a comedy act. But they were a comedy act outside the ring. But once they got in the ring, they wrestled, and they are good wrestlers. Saito is very good, and so is Yone. But, man, Saito's retiring. I don't know. This match doesn't do much for me either. And, again, I'm sitting here talking about Noah, and I feel like I'm putting it down, and I don't want to do that. This wasn't the end of the world, including the Tag Team Challenge, but this did little for me overall. Yeah, the Tag Team Championship match was skippable. And, man, I hate saying that. The Wrestling Snob, Adam Lavelle, back with more N1 coverage from Pro Wrestling Noah, October 12th, 2024. We're at the semi-main event. Roye, am I saying that right? Oya versus Jack Morris. I apologize for the butchering the names, guys. I do. This was a match to show you that anyone could win in one of these matches at any time. Jack Morris cruising through this. Now, he's had a loss or so, but he's looked like $1,000,000, and I really thought he'd beat Oya, and he didn't. Oya catches him in a backslide after 2 good-looking knees and pins him. Morris was as shocked as I was. I know I haven't talked much about the match. The match was pretty much 50-50 the whole way. Well, maybe, I don't know, 65-35 Morris for the most part. Did overconfidence get to Morris? I don't know. Was he too assured that he was going to win this? I don't know. I don't want to act like this was a complete, shock, but it was somewhat, at least to me. Oya is really good. They keep calling him the New Japan man because he is on loan from New Japan. So I really hope Noah starts building some of their guys. They've got a lot of people in this tournament on loan, if you will. They got the 2 NXT guys, and they got this New Japan guy, Oya, and he's wrestled a lot in Noah, so he feels like Noah born, if you will, but technically he's not. He's going to return to New Japan. So I don't love that Oya gets a big win over Jack Morris, who again is a gaijin, so you can't call him Noah born, but he's been a real big piece of Noah. And being that I know who's going to the finals here, I won't necessarily spoil it for those of you who are watching along with me. This doesn't hurt Jack Morris too badly. I guess that does kind of spoil it. But no, solid match here. Like I said, back and forth. It leaned more towards Jack Morris, and I think it should. I actually think Jack Morris should have won this. But if Oya had lost here, he'd have been out. It had stood no chance of making the finals. So this is night 5. They didn't want to do that right away, right? They didn't want to put this kid out at night 5. So he gets a big win over Jack Morris in a solid match, very much worth the semi-main event title. Jack Morris could carry a match with anyone. And I'm not saying he had to carry it with Oya. Oya is a great wrestler. But Jack Morris can assure you that you're going to see a great match anytime he's involved. And I'm going to chalk this up to a fluke. I'm going to chalk this up into Oya being a little more motivated because if he'd have lost, he'd been completely out. And because, Jack Morris is one of my favorites. Hate seeing him lose, but it was a good match that I very much enjoyed from bell to bell. No doubt about that. What a show this has been. Wow. I'm Adam Lovell, the wrestling snob of WrestlingDoneRight.com. And of course, we're talking about Noah's N1 Victory Tournament from August 12th, 2024. Main event, Yoshiki Inamura versus Manabu Soya in a beat down fight that, and I know I sort of talked this way about a match earlier, Josh Briggs and Masa Kitamiya, and as good as that was, this put that to shame. Nothing against Briggs or Kitamiya, but Inamura and Soya just tore into each other. It wasn't fast-paced, of course. Neither one of these guys are going to work a fast-paced match. But it was a slow-paced but fun as hell match where two guys just took punishment that would kill a normal man. Now, I know in wrestling, you have to be a little bit careful with that, okay? But you have to understand this is Puresso, okay? This isn't the WWE, thankfully, or AEW, even though those companies, especially AEW, try to do matches like this and can't. You can't work a Puresso match in America. You can try, but it doesn't work, and it doesn't look right, and it comes off as complete phoniness. But when Yoshiki Inamura and Manabu Soya just destroy each other, but continue to go, whenever the laws of nature and physics are abused, it's believable. It's more believable. Because look at Inamura and Soya. They both look like guys that you could take a tire iron to, and they'd keep coming. And that's how this worked. There was no weapons, thankfully. Again, this is Puresso. Pure Puresso, if you will. This is some kind of janky American Gaga match. This is two Bull of the Woods tearing each other to complete shreds, hitting each other with it's just everything they have. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. You just got to picture two guys. If you saw two guys that were motivated, like, I don't know, you did something to their spouse or their children or something, right? And then you pointed them to the person who did that. And they went at them. And they fought. And they just took a beating from these guys, because it would be a group of guys, but they ended up besting them because of the pure adrenaline flowing through them. And that's sort of what we saw here. That is what we saw here. Inamura and Soya motivated to win an N1 Victory main event matchup to the point that they just took an ungodly beating. And you get to sit there and watch this for your enjoyment. Inamura, he is near the point of breaking out. You could say he has broken out because he wins this match. He defeats a motivated, jacked, and just the best Manabu Soya that there has ever been. I mean, Manabu Soya is a beast among men, scary, busting out like you've never seen him. And Inamura takes him down. I could sit here and talk about each move that they did, but no move was that amazing. This was clotheslines, okay? And chops and forearm smashes and just everything a great big gigantic man would do. This was a perfect big man match that pushed the limits of something that should be possible, because of the fighting spirit within both of them that desired to advance in this tournament. Must-see match, Inamura, Soya. Big win for Yoshiki Inamura. Great time for this guy sitting there watching it as a privilege to do so. I'd give this show an 8 out of 10. A lot of matches that didn't have much meaning. I'm not saying they were bad. They didn't have much meaning. And that tag team match was the most meh match I've seen in Noah in some time. I just have to say that. It's not horrible, just left a lot to be desired. But overall, the N1 Victory Tournament matches were terrific. So a strong 8 out of 10. Again, I'm Adam Lovell, WrestlingDoneRight.com. Check it out for all my social medias. Follow me. Of course, I'm Noah's number one to me. You're not going to find too many people out there covering and promoting Noah because it's for the intelligent internet wrestling community. There is Hisami, of course. Everybody, surely every Noah fan knows who Hisami is. You can check her out. I haven't been leaving her links in the videos just out of simply forgetting, but I will be covering her stuff. The Noah News will return here as separate videos as I check out her newsletters and share with you what she has to say. I have offered her to be a part of the show. She does not wish to speak online, due to being humble, what have you, but that's the best place to find Noah News, if you will. I hope I'm up there with the best place to find all things Noah as well. I'll be back with the coverage of Night 6 here very shortly, trying to catch up. The finals are early Sunday morning here in America, and I know who's in it. Don't want to talk about it here because I'm trying to go in order. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back before you know it.